My name is George Everett. I'm 92 years old, 92 winters, 92 summers. More goodbyes than I ever thought a man could survive. And if you saw me sitting here, you might think I look peaceful. But peace and clarity are not the same thing. Clarity sometimes comes with a quiet ache, because when you live this long, you start to see patterns, not just in the world, but in yourself. And I've noticed something uncomfortable. Most of my life wasn't ruined by tragedy. It was quietly drained by worry, not one big mistake, just thousands of small fears, repeated daily. If I could sit across from my younger self, maybe 35 years old, tired, ambitious, trying to prove himself, I wouldn't give him success advice. I'd give him this list: 7 things I wasted years worrying about, and if you're smart, you won't do the same. 1. What other people thought of me. When I was younger, I carried invisible eyes on my back. Every decision felt observed. If I spoke up in a meeting, I worried I sounded stupid. If I stayed quiet, I worried I looked weak. If I succeeded, I worried people would resent me. If I failed, I worried they'd confirm their doubts. It was exhausting. Do you know what happened to all those people? They moved away. They retired. They died. And the strange part, even when they were alive, they weren't thinking about me nearly as much as I imagined. I built prisons out of opinions that barely existed. At 92, I can tell you this: the crowd you're trying to impress will not be there at your hospital bed, but the risks you avoided because of them will sit with you. 2. Trying to make the perfect decision. I used to believe that if I just thought long enough, analyzed long enough, prepared long enough, I could avoid pain. I delayed opportunities because they weren't certain. I replayed conversations in my head for days. I thought overthinking meant responsibility. It doesn't. It means fear of being blamed. Here's what nobody tells you: the future doesn't reward perfect decisions. It rewards movement. Some of my worst choices, they taught me resilience. But the roads I never walked, those became ghosts. They don't scream, they whisper. What if? What if? And those whispers grow louder with age. 3. Money. Even after I had enough, I grew up watching my father count coins at the kitchen table. So when I finally had stability, I didn't relax. I tightened. I checked accounts obsessively. I postponed vacations. I said, "Not now," to small pleasures. There was a fishing trip my brother invited me on. I declined. Too busy, too practical. He died 5 years later. That lake still exists. He doesn't. Security is important, but once you have enough, more money doesn't create more life. It just creates the illusion that you're in control. You're not. You're renting time, and the rent is due whether you enjoyed it or not. 4. Looking strong instead of being honest. This one cost me intimacy. I believed a man should be steady, unshakable. So when I was scared, I swallowed it. When I was overwhelmed, I hid it. When I felt lost, I worked harder instead. I thought vulnerability was weakness. What I didn't understand was this: people don't connect to strength. They connect to truth. There were nights my wife asked me, "What's wrong?" And I'd say, "Nothing." That nothing built a wall brick by brick. By the time I realized it, the wall was taller than both of us. Strength without openness is just isolation with better posture. 5. Arguments that didn't matter. You don't remember your biggest paycheck at 92. You remember your last harsh words. There was a night, I don't remember the year, but I remember the silence. My son and I argued about something political, stupid, temporary. I wanted to win. so I raised my voice. He left early that night. We didn't speak for 2 weeks. 2 weeks doesn't sound like much, but when you add up all the unnecessary pride across a lifetime, you realize how much love you delayed. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. Is being right more important than being close? Because one of those things fades quickly. The other stays with you forever. 6. Waiting for the right time. I told myself I'd slow down after retirement. Retirement came. My body didn't cooperate. I told myself I'd reconnect with old friends when work settled. Work never truly settles. Life is strange. It keeps handing you ordinary Tuesdays, and you keep treating them like rehearsals. There is no rehearsal. This is the performance. The right time is almost always now, just less convenient. And convenience has stolen more dreams than failure ever did. 7. Believing I had plenty of time. This is the root of all of it. Time feels abundant when you're young. You spend it casually. You assume there will be more birthdays, more dinners, more chances to fix things. But here's what I learned too late. Time doesn't disappear dramatically. It erodes quietly, one routine day at a time, until suddenly your son is 60, your friends are gone, your reflection looks unfamiliar, and you realize you weren't running out of time. You were running through it. The twist I didn't understand until 80. Here's something that took me decades to see. I wasn't actually busy. I was distracted from myself. Worry is a powerful escape. It makes you feel productive. But most of my worrying was avoidance, avoiding risk, avoiding vulnerability, avoiding uncomfortable conversations. Worry gave me the illusion of control. Presence requires courage, and courage is quieter. At 92, my world is smaller, my mornings are slower, I sit near the window often, not because I'm sad, but because I finally understand stillness. And sometimes I think about how many ordinary days I rushed through, as if something more important was waiting. It wasn't. This was it. The small dinners, the simple conversations, the random walks, the imperfect moments. That was the whole thing. If you're listening to me right now, I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to quit your job or abandon responsibility. I want something much harder. I want you to notice. Notice where your worry is stealing presence. Notice where pride is delaying connection. Notice where later is becoming a habit. Because one day, if you're fortunate enough to reach my age, you won't regret working hard. You won't regret trying. You won't even regret most of your failures. You'll regret the moments you were physically there, but mentally somewhere else. I've lived 33,580 days, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, the days I was fully present, those are the only ones that feel real now. Everything else feels like background noise. Don't let your life become background noise. You don't need more time. You need more attention. And attention is a choice. I'm 92, and if I could give you anything, it wouldn't be advice. It would be urgency without panic, clarity without fear, and the understanding that this ordinary moment you're in right now is not ordinary at all. Don't waste it the way I did.